As reported, a new incident involving a tanker from the Russian Shadow Fleet has been recorded in the Mediterranean Sea. The vessel was seriously damaged by an explosion. Presumably, the vessel was hit by a magnetic mine. This was reported by Reuters, citing informed sources. On June the 27th, a powerful explosion occurred in the engine room of the Vilamoura, a Marshall Islands flagged vessel. The vessel left the Libyan port of Zueitina and was heading to Gibraltar with a cargo of about 1 million barrels of crude oil. The incident was confirmed by the tanker's operator, Greek company TMS Tanker Ltd. The tanker was immobilized. As the operator company specified, the engine compartment was flooded and the vessel had to be taken in tow. There were no fires or fuel leaks reported on board, but a full assessment of the vessel's condition will only be possible after its arrival in Greece. According to a preliminary version voiced by 4 independent sources in the field of maritime security, a magnetic mine could have caused the damage. It is noteworthy that at least 5 ships carrying Russian oil have already mysteriously exploded. All the tanker explosions under investigation have one thing in common: visiting Russian ports, noted the British analytical company of Dryad Global. The Main Intelligence Directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine officially confirmed the explosion of the Vilamoura tanker. In a statement published on July the 1st, the Main Intelligence Directorate stated that the explosion occurred 150 kilometers from Libya. There was an explosion in the engine room of the Vilamoura tank, which belongs to Russia's Shadow Fleet, the Ukrainian military reported. Intelligence indicates that the vessel was systematically used for illegal transportation of Russian oil. In particular, in April, Vilamoura called at the port of Ust-Luga and in May at the Novorossiysk area. The damaged tanker is being towed by the Maltese-flagged tugboat Bucha Summit towards Laconia Bay, where a technical examination will be carried out. The tanker Vilamoura is a crude oil tanker registered under the flag of the Marshall Islands and operated by the Greek company TMS Tanker Ltd. The vessel is actively used for the international transportation of crude oil. Shadow Fleet is a term applied to vessels used by Russia to circumvent sanctions. Such tankers often hide their routes, turn off tracking systems, and fly the flags of third countries. They regularly appear in Russian and grey ports, delivering fuel, bypassing official trade channels. Scouts of the 225th Separate Assault Regiment of Ukraine destroyed the occupiers who were advancing in the direction of Sumy. Among the trophies was a knife that had previously seemed like a legend. This was reported by the regiment commander Oleg Shiryev. The regiment commander, who does not consider himself a newbie in knife fighting, admits, "We really thought for a long time that a knife that also shoots is a Soviet myth, but when we captured it, we were convinced such a specimen exists." We are talking about the NRS, a special scout knife. This is a unique development of the 1970s, which was manufactured at the Tula arms plant. The knife combines a cold weapon and a firearm in one body. The NRS is equipped with a high-quality blade with a saw on the back for cutting metal rods up to 1 centimeter thick. The main feature is the single-shot system. The aiming range is up to 25 centimeters. The regiment's commander, Major Oleg Shiryaev, who is well-versed in knife combat, admitted that it was the first time he had seen such a weapon in real life. Currently, fighting is ongoing in Sumy. The Ukrainian command has redeployed a unit of the 113th Separate Brigade to the Sumy direction from the Kharkiv area, the Russian security forces told TASS. The analysis of Ukrainian volunteer publications shows that units of the Kharkiv 113th Territorial Defense Brigade, which were previously part of the 16th Army Corps, are operating in the Sumy area. the sources said. According to them, the Ukrainian command, trying to recapture lost positions, is transferring new units to the Sumy direction. The fighters of Russia's battle group North grind down the enemy manpower and continue their successful offensive on this section of the front. The sources added, Ukraine has halted Russia's advance in Sumy Oblast, stabilizing the front line and blunting the momentum of Moscow's summer offensive. Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky said recently, based on the results of May and June, we can say that this year's wave of the enemy's summer offensive from Russian territory is faltering. Syrsky said, reporting that Russian troops in the northeastern border region had been stopped. Moscow launched its new summer campaign in May, aiming to push deeper into Ukraine's northeastern and eastern regions, disregarding Kiev's calls for an unconditional ceasefire. Russian forces had made modest gains, occupying around 449 square kilometers in May, the highest monthly total in 2025, according to the open-source intelligence group Deep State. Ukraine's decision to withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, known as the Mine Ban Treaty, is not surprising given the gravity of the situation Ukrainians find themselves in. As the Telegraph's Tim Collins writes, since the war began, there has been constant domestic pressure on the Ukrainian government and President Volodymyr Zelenski to withdraw from the treaty, largely for pragmatic reasons of defense and in light of the fact that Russia has not signed the treaty and is an active user of landmines. Collins noted that the treaty prohibits the use, production, stockpiling or transfer of anti-personnel mines, APMs. It also requires signatories to destroy stockpiles and clear laid minefields. Ukraine ratified the treaty in 2005. The fact is that the APM is a terrible thing. This mine not only maims and kills soldiers, but also anyone who comes close, including children. They are very difficult and dangerous to clear, and they often make areas of land unusable for many years. But they are extremely effective, especially as a means of defense against an attacker, the analyst stated. Collins noted that Russia is widely using these mines in the war against Ukraine, especially after 2022, so it makes no sense for Kyiv to have this significant disadvantage, designed for a world that simply does not exist. The Observer noted that the Ukrainian authorities and military have put forward the idea of withdrawing from the treaty or suspending its effect, citing the need for more effective protection of the territory and the fact that as long as Ukraine adheres to the treaty, the aggressor does not face such restrictions. In this regard, the Observer emphasized that Russia's closest neighbors, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia and Finland, recently withdrew from this treaty, learning a lesson from the situation in Ukraine. Collins expressed the view that Ukraine's withdrawal from the treaty would likely be seen as a pragmatic move, but it would not be one that would not upset its allies. If Ukraine is no more, will it matter? I believe that needs must be met when the devil is in charge. On June the 29th, it became known that Ukraine was withdrawing from the Ottawa Convention, which prohibits the use, stockpiling and production of anti-personnel mines. President Volodymyr Zelenski signed a corresponding decree. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs explained that Ukraine found itself in an unfair situation, which is why it decided to withdraw from this convention.